Hey, welcome to another edition of Raptors Rap with Clifton Joseph and, of course, two old heads, OG basketball stars via Hamilton and Toronto. I'm talking about Jude Kelly and Michael Solomon. As we do usually, gentlemen, Jude, you take it away. Just give me a little intro about yourself and what you got going.
Well, played, 5 years Canadian ball, won a bunch of conference championships. Now I'm involved with the Masters basketball movement. We've won a world championship. I've competed at dozens of international Masters events in Canada, States, and abroad. And that's where a lot of my focus and energy goes to these days, along with cheering for my raps.
And superstar Michael Solomon.
Yeah, I've played 3 years of university basketball, won 2 national championships, and won 1 consolation championship playing against my partner here, Jude.
You gotta bring that up every week, Mike.
Jude, you know that when he says that, there's always a smirk on his face, isn't it?
Yeah. I got to take it because I don't think I ever beat Mike. I think I'm 0-3 against Mike at St. Mary's and at Concordia. So.
Yeah. Well, St. Mary's was a powerful team. That was.
Yeah.
That team is also 2 years ago we were inducted into the Nova Scotia Sports Hall of Fame.
Excellent.
Excuse me. I'm surprised it took so long. Jeez.
40-something years.
Yeah, you guys should have been one of the first ones, first honorees in that hall.
Yeah.
So when you all were traveling around the country, like, were you in top of the form, like in first class, by traveling by plane from gig to gig? What was the situation like? And accommodations?
Just regular class,
Yep, regular economy for us.
Yeah.
We did actually stay in great hotels. We always stayed in those the CP hotels, the ones that Canadian Pacific built, like the Royal York in Toronto.
That's a high joint.
Oh yeah, but we would stay in those hotels out west, like the Bessborough and Saskatoon, the Hotel Alberta and Calgary. We would stay in those hotels and we'd get a lot of history and with pictures in the lobbies and a lot of the old fixtures in there. It was great.
And Mike, some people would be surprised at the kind of numbers you were kicking in terms of fans and the adulation you got. Hip us to what the fandom was at that time.
Well, the East Coast had the best fans in basketball. Due to the fact they didn't have any pro teams out there. They had like semi-pro hockey team, so a regular game, you're having 2,000-3,000 people in the stands, at the universities, and when it came time for the national championship, the first one we won in 78, there was 11,000 people in the Metro Center,
Wow, 11,000.
Yeah, it was an all East finals. It was Acadia versus St. Mary's, and Acadia had beaten us in the conference championship.
Oh, okay.
We were out by like 30.
Was that Walt Hazard, or what was the guy's name on Acadia? No, Upshaw, right?
Upshaw was there. Hazard was there as well.
Yeah, Mike Hazard. Yeah.
Yeah. And in the national championship, we were the wild card.
Oh,
right?
okay.
We played the number 1 ranked team, which was the Manitoba Bisons at the time.
Defending champions at the time too, yeah.
No, Acadia was the defending champion.
Oh, Acadia won the year before. Oh yeah, Manitoba won in '76. That's right.
Yeah, and we beat them in the first game, and we set up all East finals, which is why there were so many people in the Metro Center. Jeez. It was wild, noisy, ruckus,
Wow, Jude. Michael was here in Toronto. You were there in Hamilton, which is not known as a hotbed of basketball activity. What was the scene that you came out in Hamilton, and how did you get to the national stage?
Okay, in the Hammer, you're right. We always felt that we had good basketball in Hamilton. A lot of times we played Toronto teams. We played Oakwood. I beat Oakwood twice in high school.
You beat the Barons?
Oh yeah, we beat them twice. We beat them once. They came to our gym. Oh, we beat them pretty handily. And then they came to we met them in a tournament in Sault Ste. Marie, and we beat them handily too. That's when they had, Norman, Robert Clark, Darryl outscoring. They had a pretty loaded team. They were ranked higher than us according to the starting lineup, but yeah, we beat them pretty good. We always felt Hamilton ball was solid. We got a lot of players from, the States would come over, a lot of players from Buffalo, and, Southwestern Ontario, Tillsonburg and Kitchener always had good ball players. So I guess to answer your question, I came out in 78. I went to University of Prince Edward Island my first year. Then I transferred to Brandon because it was last year, 1979, that you could transfer without sitting out. Because up until that point, you could literally play at 5 schools in 5 different years without sitting out. So they stopped that in 79. I transferred to Brandon. They already had 2 All-Canadians there in Jerry Abernathy, Keith Streeter. They had a super guard, Freddie Lee from New York, coming out. And we won our first GPAC conference championship, went to the Nationals and lost in the finals to Victoria. But we won our conference every year, went to the Nationals every year. I finished second once, third twice, and that one miserable year when we lost to Concordia first round, we finished 0-2. So I don't know what that is, 7th or 8th.
Well, look, speaking about Buffalo, New York, the Nickel City, as they call it, let's talk about the Buffalo Braves for a moment. From 1970 to 1978, the Buffalo Braves were in New York, played their asses off and, contended here and there. Then they were sold and became the San Diego Clippers, and which eventually what is now the Los Angeles Clippers. But for 4 years, between 71 and 1975, they played a total of 16 games at the Maple Leaf Gardens, because the Buffalo Memorial Auditorium had the Buffalo hockey team, and then Canisius College, and then the Braves as number 3. So they played 16 games. Tell me about your experiences of the Buffalo Braves. Did you go to any of those games, and what part did they play in your motivation?
I actually didn't see the Braves play in Toronto. I saw them play a couple times in Buffalo. Yeah, I love the Braves. I mean, my favorite player was Randy Smith. Of course, I love Bob McAdoo, Ernie DiGregorio, Jim Washington. They are a solid team. And Jack Ramsey was the coach.
That's right.
I was really sad when they left to San Diego because I felt that was as close as we were ever going to get to an NBA franchise here in Toronto, Hamilton. But I still, I know, although the Los Angeles Clippers, that's their legacy. I don't think they really have much of a connection to Buffalo these days. And I don't know whether the Braves or Buffalo could even support another NBA team given the opportunity.
Michael?
Yeah, but when the Buffalo Braves came to play in Toronto, I mean, we were young guys then. I mean, teenagers, and tickets were easy to get. So we were, we were idolizing Bob McAdoo and Randy Smith, Ernie DiGregorio, Gar Hurd,
yes.
Jim McMillan. It was a great time to be a Torontonian and enjoying basketball the way we did. Because back then the hero for me was Dr. J. I tried to do everything that Dr. J did, try to fashion your game and
wear the high socks up to your knees.
Oh yeah.
So,
we all love Dr. J. We all love Dr. J. And I was really happy when they won their championship back in '83.
Oh yeah, with Moses.
Yeah, Moses. Yeah, 4-4-4.
Yeah,
4-5-4. Yeah.
Michael,
remember Moses' famous prediction of the NBA playoffs?
Oh yeah. Yes. That's legendary.
4-5-4.
Okay. Yeah.
sounds like a slick phone number.
Actually, you're a band, Pieces of a Dream, the jazz band from Philly. They did a song called 4-5-4. So it's actually a tribute to that prediction.
So, Michael, what was the atmosphere like at those games? Like, how populated was it by Black folks, and who was there, and what was the demographics like? What was the kind of atmosphere at the games?
Well, the game it was really sold out. I think it was sold out. Population, back then didn't have time to look at the demographics. We were always a minority, just being there, and seeing the game. That's all we cared about.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So the legacy of the Buffalo Braves. Wow. Amazing, eh? Because a lot of people might not even know that it even existed right there across the waters in Buffalo.
Buffalo, as a city, they still produce some pretty good basketball players individually. You don't forget a few years ago, in the MAC conference, Buffalo with Bobby Hurley coaching, they won a couple of MAC championships. And I know Canisius and St. Bonaventure had some good runs. So they got some good programs in the area.
Hey,
after the Braves left, we had some minor league basketball coming to Toronto. You remember the Tornadoes?
Toronto Tornadoes, yeah.
They're bringing the 6-4 in the league and the Continental League.
Yeah.
I think Leon and Simeon got to play in the with the Tornadoes for a while. I know they worked out with them. Yeah, that was in the
That's the name I haven't heard in a while. Simeon Mars, what's he doing these days?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. And what
I'm young now and then.
I was gonna say, remember Ronnie Hepburn?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got linked in with Lennox Lewis's camp and became his
they were childhood friends, right?
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah. I was surprised to see him on the in the ring at that time. I was like, wow.
When he won his championship, I said, "There's Hep." Yeah, so he was a good ball player too.
Oh yeah, very very slick.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not too much speed, but real slick. Yeah.
What was it like for y'all in high school and university in terms of being idols, being idolized by the fans, and being bigged up by people when you go around town and so on?
Well, from my perspective, the move to Oakwood, that brought a lot of publicity to basketball in general in Canada. Because of the boycott, 16 of the schools boycotted Oakwood. They accused Quants of recruiting.
Wasn't he recruiting though?
No, he wasn't recruiting. As a basketball player, as a young guy, wanted to become, get some fame, go off to university, possibly go pro.
Profile.
You needed to play at a school that had some good reputation, had a good coach. So
Michael,
that's how we went there. It was reputation brought us there.
Doesn't it look suspicious though? So all of a sudden, this September, all of the major best players across the city end up on the Oakwood Barons team. Doesn't seem a little suspicious.
No, it was only 3 of us,
Okay, well that's enough.
With myself.
that was enough though.
Yeah. Well, that took us over the top. But it led to a fantasy kind of year. Because of that boycott, we only played tournaments and exhibition games. We played 15 exhibition games that year. Our record was 57-6. And our average margin of victory was 30 points.
Wow.
And every game that we played that year was standing room only in the gyms.
Y'all were the shit.
Oh yeah, you go out the bounce to pass the ball, and people have to move aside. We're signing autographs at halftime and after the game. It was a fantasy. It was something that we've never seen before. Right? So we were just living it,
Because when I came to Toronto in '73, and I was at Blow Collegiate, Blow and Duffin here in Toronto, and the Blow Bears never got nowhere. Alan White and those cats never got nowhere. It was pure Oakwood Barons, and of course, after that, it migrated westward to Humberside, and then eastward after that to Eastern Commerce. Jude, what was your experience in high school and university then?
Well, in Hamilton, yeah, our high school, we had a decent-sized gym, about 800, 900 people, and we sold, it was full for every game. We had great fans for all our sports, actually. Our school had, we had probably 25 clubs, for the nerds to join, like Glee clubs, the Rocket Club, the Science Fiction Club. And we had 3 basketball teams, midget, junior, senior, for the men, the boys, and the girls, and great support for all our teams. I knew I was a good player in Hamilton because I knew who the better players were in the city, and I used to go out and play against them and measure myself up against them. But it wasn't until I got to university where I realized, that competition growing up really, really helped me. In fact, that, playing out west, where the ball is not as good as it is in Ontario, as not as good as it is certainly in Southern Ontario. So I was getting the best competition I possibly could playing against the guys in Hamilton, playing all these tournaments. And then we went to play anywhere else. I was ready. I mean, I knew my fundamentals. I had some great coaching. And now playing at university, it was just a matter of developing those skills and being more of a tactician.
Mm-hmm.
Michael says he signed autographs in high school. I remember I was shocked. I was shocked. I got asked for my first autograph at Brandon. I'm like, what, me? What am I at? I only got like 25 points. Like, what do you want my autograph for? Jeez, so I just signed my name and the guy was thrilled. I was like, geez.
Mm-hmm. Superstars in the making, baby. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking care of this. Now, let's shift and get to the matter at hand. The Raptors just eviscerated the Brooklyn Nets by 25 points, 117 to 92, making themselves 3-0, which means that they can sweep this ship on Sunday. Jude, what did you think of the game? And Siakam came through with 33 minutes, 26 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal.
Solid game for Siakam. We had, 5-6 players in double figures. Raps were focused from the get-go on this afternoon. I thought they didn't want to, have a slow start like they did on Wednesday. They came out playing really, really tough D, hitting their shots, making some great passes. I think they wanted to make a statement themselves that Wednesday's, close win was a blip, and that this is the real Raptor team that Brooklyn and the rest of the league is going to have to face going forward.
Now, I know you've been concerned with Gasol, with Marc Gasol, right? Today he did 21 minutes, 3 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Now, those are way lower numbers that he used to do in Memphis. Do we need him at some point? Are they just playing passing with him where he'll get into another gear when we get to games that really matter? Because I find that his offensive things is not happening. He only took like 1 of 7 field goals today.
Yeah, 1 of 7 field goals. So
is that going to be a problem going forward?
It is if he's going to continue to produce these numbers. We need him to play well and to score for us going forward, because although we have a strong supporting cast, when we play some of these better teams, especially next round, we're going to need him to produce.
I agree with you, Jude. Mark's performance is a concern right now. I mean, going 1 for 7, and really he didn't look that comfortable on the floor. I see him make some low post moves, and he didn't seem to have the mobility he needed. Just kind of throwing it up there. But that's the reason Ibaka came in the game so early.
Mm-hmm.
He got it going. He had a real good game for us.
For a while there, I was concerned because Ibaka came out, missed his first 4 shots, and I'm like, wow, all our centers are doing nothing. But Ibaka had an outstanding rest of the game there. Yeah,
because Ibaka went through for 23 minutes, 20 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. 8 of 12 field goal, 3 of 3 from the 3.
Yeah, so you know what? I know he missed his first 4 shots, so he made his last 8, which is great.
Traditionally, he needs some time to warm up. For as long as Ibaka's been here, he needs some good touches at the start of the game, and then he's good.
So should they bring him earlier on? Like, what's the strategy to manage that, though? Because I think that Serge can really produce, right? So do you bring him a little earlier in, or like how can the coaching staff manage him to make him perform better or consistently like he did today?
Just give him his touches.
Go ahead, Mike.
Give him his touches. Give him his stuff. With Mark performing the way he did, they had to go to Serge early. And they had to stick with him, and he performed admirably.
Jude?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think you can adjust your starting lineup. Marc Gasol had, as I recall last year, some pretty poor games in the playoffs too. But he seemed to rebound right after each game with a solid effort offensively and defensively. So I'm not concerned about right now against Brooklyn. I'd like Mark to play better. I'd like him to score more. But we don't really need him to do that to win this series. But going forward, he's going to have to play much better. And I think he will. I think he's going to play better. He's proven in his career that he can bounce back, that he can put these bad games behind him and give us the lift that we need.
Because look, I dig the
And
dude.
even today.
I dig the dude because
Yeah, sorry.
I was sad.
He did play better.
I was sad that JV was included in that trade, but afterwards I had to reconcile that it was a good trade for Toronto, because the thing about Gasol is that his basketball IQ, how he affects the game in other ways than actually on the leaderboard, is off the chart for me. And I hope that we sign him for a 1-2 year contract this year off season. He's a free agent. But what about his basketball IQ, and what is basketball IQ when you look at the scoreboard and the dude only has like numbers like he did last game and this one?
Well, it's the intangibles that you have to look at when it comes to basketball IQ. He doesn't have to really score to affect the game. Even without scoring, he's going to play good defense. He moves his feet. He plays the angles well. And in real big games, he shows up. I think he might have a problem playing against lesser competition. Some guys just can't show up against unless the competition is great. And I hope that is the case with him. So, he shows promise for the
give him a Philadelphia. Give him a Philadelphia. You make Embiid into a boy.
Yeah, he play hard. Exactly, he'll play hard against people like that. So,
and you know what? I think that's the reason why they made that trade, because they're, Masai was looking down the road saying, okay, who is our second round matchup? Ideally, probably going to be Philadelphia. We need someone to take Embiid out of the game. And who's the best center in the league playing against Joel Embiid? Marc Gasol. He's available. Let's take him.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Jude. 100%. That's the reason they made that trade. I was kind of upset because, Valanciunas was starting to play really well too, I look at him now. Look at Valanciunas now. He got a triple-double the other day.
That is unbelievable. That is historical.
6, 20, and 12, something like that.
Yeah. But you know what? He's not in the playoffs, so.
Yeah, Jude, you always get back to that. It ain't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing and you're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyle Lowry, I think, can be a triple-double machine. Today he had what did he have? 35 minutes, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists.
7. Yeah.
I think he can do like a 10-10-10 kind of thing regularly. You think we're going to see that more and more through the playoffs?
He's the heart and soul of the team. Absolutely. I mean, he could literally get a triple-double every game, and I think he will get a few this postseason. But he's the soul of our team. He amplifies what it means to be a Raptor, playing hard, playing smart, playing tough, never backing down, and never getting rattled. And this, I believe this is the new Kyle Lowry, because when DeRozan was around, he would get rattled. He would have some poor games, and but post Kawhi, it's been a different Lowry out there, and I love this new Lowry.
And
I agree with you. I agree with you. Lowry, in the post-Kawhi years, with that isolation basketball that the Raptors used to play, those guys were just the focus, and so defenses were able to focus on them. But Kyle Lowry's always been a bulldog on defense. I always loved his defense. And once Kawhi got here, he stopped focusing on scoring and just focused on playing basketball. It took us to the championship.
Yeah,
he certainly did. And his replacement in waiting right now, who is really exemplifying himself with every game of this playoff, is Fred VanVleet. I'm telling you, the dude, he's become our main three-point sharpshooter. Today, the dude had 6 of 10 from 3.
Yeah.
23 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Fred VanVleet, is that guy now our main dude or what?
He's going to be. I mean, after next year, he will be. Fred and Normie Powell starting backcourts. Ed Davis coming off the bench as the first guard. Then you got Siakam and Anunoby. Probably Chris Boucher as a backup center. We're still going forward next season, and it's going to be some interesting decisions. But Freddie is going to be our guard for the next 5 years or so, as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah,
Nice.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Fred is going to be around for a long time, and I like today how they brought in Powell came into the game playing
Yeah,
really strong basketball. Then they brought in Davis came in early.
I
Got
like
his
Terrence.
gun, contributed really well. Shot a
Yeah,
good percentage. What did he shoot today?
4 for 5.
Yeah, you can't beat that. It's
I
and
like his energy.
brought the energy right off the bat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Doesn't back down from anybody. But going forward, right, like particularly when we get to, let's say, LA Clippers back down in maybe the finals, I've always thought that we need a guy like Oakley. We need a tough, badass guy like Lambert. If you look at Isaiah Thomas back in the day, Lambert would go slap you. You
Mhm.
come into the paint and you're going to get some Oakley swat. Who's our bad guy or enforcer? And if not, can we get one?
Siakam. Siakam plays
Siakam?
stuff.
You're
Siakam is
kidding.
a
You're
tough
joking.
dude. He's strong as hell. He'll put some hurting on people.
Mm,
Siakam, I don't know about that.
neither me, really.
No, sorry, not, I should say Siakam. Ibaka.
Serge.
Ibaka. Serge.
Ibaka.
Serge.
That's
Yes.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because Serge
Siakam isn't there yet. No.
Ibaka does have a mean streak to him, and he's gotten some technicals back in the day. I mean, he has been known for that.
He's got
Yeah.
some size too.
Mm?
Yeah.
He's got some size too.
Yes, yes.
But I mean, even Ibaka, he doesn't have really a mean streak to him. I mean, Lambert was mean, bordering on dirty. Oakley was mean, bordering on dirty. We don't have any of those type of guys. But you know what? I don't know if you really need guys like that to win. You
don't.
need someone that's going to be strong. You need a collective spirit amongst your team that everyone's going to look out for each other. And I haven't seen anybody really picking on anyone on the Raptors. So I believe if that happened, Kyle Lowry would be the guy that would come up there and be in somebody's face and throwing the first punch probably. He'd be the guy up there saying, we're not going to have any of this shit. I think a lot of teams are afraid of Kyle Lowry despite his size because they know Kyle being from Philly, he may knock somebody out.
Oh yeah, North Philly gangsterism, baby. Them
North
dudes
Philly.
don't mess around. OG Anunoby, we got him in the 20s back in the day. He was out for 1 year. His father had passed. He was injured and so on. But that guy is a master defensive guy, and his numbers fluctuate. But I see him getting more and more steady numbers-wise, points, rebounds, blocks, steals, deflections. What is the importance of a guy like Anunoby? How does he distinguish himself in the team?
He doesn't make too many mistakes. He gives you that steady defense. He doesn't need the ball to play good basketball. You know, so the shooters get a chance to shoot, and he'll take his turn when it comes.
Yep, he is our best wing defender. He's always going to guard the opposition's, our opponent's best forward, and generally, lock that guy up.
Mm-hmm.
He, as Mike said, he doesn't need the ball a lot to make points, but he will produce points. He runs well. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's a keeper.
Mm-hmm. And of course, our defense today, like always, is up there.
Team defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you call team defense. How they started that game off. Everything that Brooklyn did the game before, those looks weren't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't come down the lane like they did previous game.
How many turnovers did Brooklyn get?
Mm.
Did Brooklyn have?
Don't get that stat right here.
I don't have it here either. So, yeah, but anyways, the Raptors force a lot of turnovers. I just love the way they switch and they man up and they help out there. They make things tough for Brooklyn. I mean, Brooklyn made some great shots today. Who's that lefty that had a career game? Johnson? What's his name?
There's a Johnson on that team.
Yeah, Johnson. Yeah, he hit like 6 threes. It's a lefty, smooth lefty.
Yes.
He hit some tough shots too.
Yeah, with the afro, right?
Yeah, with the fro and the headband. Yeah, he hit some tough shots. Credit to him. But hey, him playing a career game, they still lost by 25. So
true. But look, at the same time, I'm looking forward with this Nets team because when Durant comes back, when Kyrie comes back, when the other guys who are out, Dimriddle and so on, this is going to be a hell of a team next year. The Brooklyn Nets, I think, is going to be a hell of a team next year.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have the
They're going to be.
potential to be so, but we have to see how what's his name, how he performs.
Durant?
Not
Oh,
Durant.
Kyrie
Oh,
Irving?
Irving.
Irvin. We got to see what he brings to the team, because he's becoming known more so as a disruptor than someone who brings chemistry to a team. Hopefully, he can shake that and help that team out.
And he's always hurt. You know, he's always hurt. So I don't know if he can stay healthy for a full season. I know Durant will be coming back, but he's coming off of Achilles surgery, which, if you recall, is almost a career-ending injury. Kobe Bryant was never the same after his Achilles injury. That explosiveness was gone. He wasn't as quick laterally. So we'll see what kind of game Durant has. Comes back in December, I guess, for the start of the new season.
What did you all like about Coach Nurse's approach this game? This is the third game. We're up 3-0, best of 7. What do you think of his substitutions and the play he played this game?
Well, you know, it's easy to coach when you're ahead all game. The only adjustment Coach Nurse had to make was to, you know, get Gasol out and get Ibaka in. I mean, his patterns are pretty, you know, predictable. And I say that in a good way. I mean, you know that Norm Powell's going to be the first guard off the bench. You know that Ibaka will be the first forward off the bench. Matt Thomas will get some time if they have a big enough lead. Terrence Davis will come in if Powell or Van Vliet or Lowry are in foul trouble or struggling. So he's shortened his roster, or his rotation rather, and that's a good thing. I'd like to see him give Boucher some more minutes.
Of course, bring Boucher into the game, somebody.
I think he needs to see some more time, because he's going to play a big role for us in the future, and I think probably this postseason.
Michael, you think that a lot of the bench players like Boucher will get more play as time goes on?
Most definitely. You saw Davis come off the bench today. He came off early, contributed well. Next game, you might see Boucher get his turn. You know, he is deserving of it. He's been playing fantastic basketball. You know, I think he might be one of our best 3-point shooters as well. He certainly seems to be that these days.
Yeah, no, he's pretty decent, man. Boy, how deep is this team, man? How deep is your love for this team, and how deep is this team?
Hey, they're as deep as they want to be. They have players on the bottom end of their rotation that could contribute. But right now, I think they need to get Boucher some more time. They need to get Matt Thomas out there some more looks, because I think Matt could be one of these guys who can break a game open with his threes, and I believe he will at some point in the playoffs. Yeah,
because I love the way that guy curls off the screens, man. He reminds me of our guy Curry back in the day with the Raptors.
Odell, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Matt Thomas is the type of guy that, you know, he's known as a 3-point shooter, although he can do more than that. But when he's out there, you'll see that there's a lot more spacing out there, because teams, you know, have to help out. They have to, you know, be conscious of where he is on the floor, because he can hit that 3 with very little time. So generally, he's out there, that frees things up for Serge in the middle and makes things easier for Anunoby in the middle, and for Siakam. So I want to see Matt Thomas get some more time. I want to see Chris Boucher get some more time. And other than that, along with Terrence Davis and Norman Powell and Ibaka, that's a solid rotation. That's enough to win a title again.
That's what
Mike, the second of 3, as you predicted, Mike, the second championship of 3. We're going to 3-peat, you said, right?
You listen to the youngsters in the USA. You know, a lot of people are picking Raptors to win this year.
Oh yeah, that's good. Well, you know, the Clippers look vulnerable. You see, you know, they could legitimately be down 2-0. They're actually lucky to win that. I was reading the stats of the Dallas Clippers series, and Dallas has led 68 of the 92 minutes in both games. So Dallas is no fluke.
Clippers aren't looking good right now. They look real shaky. Despite their superstar players, they don't seem to have that chemistry that the Raptors demonstrate so well.
You got a lot of scorers, a lot of shooters. I still think the Clippers are going to win that series. But I tell you who is in trouble.
The Lakers?
No, Indiana's in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
And,
of course.
And the 76ers are in trouble. Both those teams, I think, are going to get swept.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you there, Jude.
I hope that you're both wrong. I hope they go to 6. I hope they win a haymaker, 1 and 2 games, or at least go to 5. So
5 at the most for both of those series.
yes, you've all been in these high-pressured situations. So now you're up 3-0. You can clinch the series and sweeping them in the next game for the Raptors on Sunday. What's the mindset? What do you have to say to yourself that you don't regress and just like play slow and take things for granted? How do you maintain a killer instinct now to just like go into that game on Sunday and just obliterate those motherfuckers?
This is where the coach really comes in. This is where the coach is the key. He's responsible for keeping those guys up, keeping them into the game, keeping them excited.
Yep, I think Mike is right. Coaching is going to have to keep the players engaged, but I think the Raptors on Sunday got to go out and this kind of smack Brooklyn in the mouth early. Send a message out that this is going to be over tonight. We're not playing a game 5. We ain't messing around. Send a message early with some solid defense. Hit their shots, and this game should be over or could be over by halftime.
The thing about the Raptors, right, is they keep on making history, right? Because right now, for instance, 3-0 is the first time they've ever done that.
Mm-hmm.
And if they win the game on Sunday, when they win the game on Sunday, it's the first time they would have swept anybody.
That's remarkable.
I was really embarrassed when we got swept by Washington that year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I share that.
I'm telling you, that's the shit still irks me. So it'll be great vindication if the history that they've made, that they continue making the history by winning this game on Sunday and sweeping the Brooklyn Nets and having some time off. Because it'll be the first sweep in the playoffs this year, right?
Well, you know what? Even if the Raps sweep, I think they're not going to get any time off because I think Boston's going to sweep Philly. So I think that series is going to start right away.
Wow.
That's very true, dude. Very true.
Let's look forward then, since you mentioned that. Hayward is hurt.
Yeah.
Yes, it helps us.
How significant is that in the matchups that we got?
Starter. He's their top 3-point shooter. He's a playmaker. He's a solid player. Yeah, it's going to hurt him. I mean, the Celtics have the pieces to minimize that damage, but they're going to miss him. And his injury definitely is a plus for the Raps.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Michael?
Yeah, Hayward is the key. With him out, we stand a very good chance of winning that series. He isn't projected to come back 5 games down the road, right? Or 2 weeks, something like that?
2 weeks, I heard, yeah.
That's a lot of time, man, given this truncated season and playing every other day.
Yeah, you can't just come back after that time and get right back into it. You need some time to warm up. So he's out of it for now. I'd say forget about Hayward. Boston is going to be playing some desperate basketball because they know he's out and they know how good we are. We are the defending champions and we're playing as such.
Mm-hmm. So go ahead, Jude.
Thank you. Although Boston has beaten the Raptors 3 out of 4 this year.
Yeah.
So I think they have no fear against playing us, although playing without Hayward is going to be a different story.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So what are the keys to the game on Sunday then again? Just to reiterate, gentlemen, what's the key to the game? The 4th game, Raptors had the possibility on Sunday of sweeping the Nets.
Raptors, stick to your strengths. Great defense. Just put that defense that make them fold. It's gonna be hard for those young guys to fold, but we can do it to them, especially tomorrow. We want to show that we are the defending champions.
We are, and as you predicted, Michael, we're gonna three-peat.
Yep.
Great chance of it.
You got to pay some money to Pat Riley, because did Pat Riley actually patent that phrase?
I think he did. I think he put a trademark on it, but I don't know
Pat,
about any relevant to Canada. Yeah.
Sue me. Gentlemen, as Gladys Knight and the Pips would sing, never can say goodbye. No, no, no. Never can say goodbye. Ta-da-da-da-da-da-da. But gentlemen, it's goodbye time. We've come to the end of the road. Boys to men. Thank you so much, and we'll see you again. Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, see you guys on Sunday.
Right on.
See you on
Take
Sunday.
care, y'all. Bye, bye.
See you guys.
Take care.
Pork pie hat.